All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name's Nicole, and welcome back to our English class. Hello again. I'm really glad to see you all ready to continue our journey into English pronunciation. In our last two sessions, we talked a lot about the big challenges of English spelling and how the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA, is our amazing tool for solving them. You've gotten comfortable with the idea that the IPA gives us a consistent symbol for every single sound. Today, we are going to take that knowledge and focus specifically on one very important group of sounds, which is on English vowels. Why are vowels so important, you might ask? Well, vowels are the music or the flow of English. They are the sounds that, really allow our voices to vibrate freely. Think about it. Without clear vowels, words can sound very choppy or difficult to understand. So in English, vowels can be particularly tricky because, unlike some other languages, we have a lot of them. And the way we make them can be quite subtle, often just by slightly changing the position of our tongue or the shape of our lips. So there's so many English vowel sounds, despite that there are only five English vowel letters. Now, on the visual, you can see we will be breaking down vowels into a few categories. First is on short vowels. These are typically quick, relaxed vowel sounds. Second, long vowels. These are usually held for a slightly longer duration. And third, common diphthongs and monophthongs. Well, monophthongs, these are, one from the word itself, one, and then thongs is sound. Then for diphthongs is two, and then two sounds. So our goal today is to start exploring these different types of vowels, understand their IPA symbols, and most importantly, practice how to produce them clearly. This will make a huge difference in how natural and understandable your English sounds. Are you ready to dive into this topic? Because we are going to start immediately. All right, let's get started. All right, excellent. What you're seeing now on the screen is the full English phonemic chart, and again, you will notice a red box highlighting a specific section. Sorry for that. Again, you will notice a red box highlighting a specific section. So that red box is pointing to the vowels section, which is exactly where we are going to focus our attention today. So this chart is our map, and right now we are zooming in on the vowel country of that map. Now, a closer look to the vowel section. Remember, vowels are those sounds where the air flows freely from your mouth without any blockage by your tongue, by your lips, or by your teeth. Those are our articulators. So they are often the most open sounds. Within this red box, you can clearly see the two main categories of vowels. First is monophthongs on the left and diphthongs on the right. But to make it even clearer with these categories, we will start our deep dive by focusing on the short vowels and long vowels first. So these are typically the pure vowel sounds, which you will mostly find under the monophthong section. Once we have explored these individual pure vowel sounds, we will then move on to clearly distinguish between monophthongs and diphthongs and practice those gliding sounds. So each box in this vowel section contains an IPA symbol for a specific vowel sound and an example word to help you gonna hear that sound. So over the next part of the session, we will be going through these vowel sounds systematically. We will explore how they are produced, how they differ from each other, and how they connect to typical English spellings. Don't worry about trying to memorize all of them at once. Our goal is to get familiar with them and understand the mechanics. This is our playground for today, the English vowels. So we will start with the short and long pure vowels. Okay? All right. Let's move on. All right, what you see on the screen now is our English phonemic chart again. But this time, there's a clear red box highlighting the specific group of sounds we're going to dive into first, which is on short vowels. Now, I did not highlight every short vowels in this slide. I started immediately with the first short vowel that we can see. Now, before that, we should understand what short vowels really is. Now, short vowels are typically characterized by a few things. First, it is quick and relaxed. So when you make these sounds, your mouth and tongue are usually more relaxed. Okay? And the sound itself, it is relatively, you know, short in duration. So it's not stretched out in like a long vowel. So a long vowel is stretched out for a moment because I noticed that the slide is not really um, is cropped for a moment. Let me fix that. All right, that took so long. Sorry, but yeah, we are going to immediately continue. Well, what's important is that it's already fixed. You can already see the whole full chart. Okay. All right, continuing. Short vowels, aside from it is quick and relaxed, there is no gliding, meaning, unlike diphthongs, which we will cover later, your tongue does not move or glide much when making a pure short vowel sound. It largely stays in one position. That's no gliding. And also, short vowels is common in English. These are just, some of the most frequent vowel sounds you will encounter in everyday English lessons. So, looking at the highlighted section, you can see the IPA symbols for these short vowels along with their example words. Now, I highlighted first the first example. So we're going to go through these short vowels one by one, focusing on how to correctly produce each sound. We pay attention to the example words as they really help connect the abstract IPA symbol to a sound you're already familiar with. Remember, the goal here is to train your ear to recognize these distinct sounds and train your mouth to produce them accurately. Mastering these short vowels will make a really big difference in the clarity of your English speech. All right, are you ready to explore the first short vowel sound, which is on our screen right now? So let's start with our first short vowel sound. We are going to pick one of the most common ones you will find in English. Take a look at the IPA symbol. This one, it's a capital I but shorter version. Now here, this is the sound you hear in words. This is pronounced as E. Again, E. Quick. It's quick. It's relaxed. So you don't hold the sound a little bit longer. So it's just E. Again, E, as in the word ship. So this is the sound you hear in words like sit, hit, fish. So that vowel sound um that vowel sound in the word is a short vowel sound. So they used a short vowel sound in here. Okay? Now how to produce this particular sound for a moment. Okay, you might ask how to produce this, particular sound because of course there are maybe you find it hard, although uh, you find it hard how to pronounce this particular vowel, short vowel sound. Okay, how this is how you do it for the mouth position. Let's start with the mouth position. You keep your mouth fairly relaxed, slightly open, something like this. I know. I'm gonna be visualizing how to really say it, how to pronounce it after I explain everything. Okay, for the mouth position. For the tongue position, the middle part. Note the middle part of your tongue is slightly raised. Okay, very slight. It's slightly raised, but it's not, too tense. It's relaxed and just a bit forward in your mouth. That's the tongue position. And of course, we try to include the feeling. It's a short, quick, relaxed vowel sound. So think of it as a soft, almost lazy E sound. It's shorter and more relaxed than the E sound in sheep, um, greed, something like that. Okay, let's try it together, considering applying those tips that I've mentioned earlier, how to produce that particular sound. So say the sound E. Again, E. One more time, E. Now let's say the example again. The word ship. One more time, ship. Say it a few times. Make sure you clearly hear and feel that, short E sound in the middle. Okay? We try to distinguish it from the long E sound you hear in ship. All right? So, how does that feel? Can you feel your tongue in that relaxed, slightly raised position? So, you can give it a few tries if you did. All right? Okay. Let's move on immediately to the second short vowel sound. Okay. That's the sound, as in bed. Okay? Sound, as in bed. So this is the sound you hear in words like red, 10, friend. Yes, even with the spelling of the friend, IE. Even if it's the spelling is IE, that particular vowels, those vowels in the spelling of friend, the IE, it is pronounced as e. Okay? Friend. Now, how to produce this sound, the short vowel sound? Well, for the mouth position, your mouth here is just slightly more open than for the previous vowel sound, the E sound. And the corners for your lips, no, the corners of your lips might be pulled back just a tiny bit, but it is still relaxed. Not don't get too tense, okay? For the tongue position, that's the mouth position that we've talked about. For the tongue position, your tongue is relatively flat in the middle of your mouth, and the front part is just below where it was for E. And of course, it's still relaxed. Okay? That's for the tongue position. For the feeling, of course, it's same as before. It's quick, but it's clear sound. Okay? Think of the beginning of the word elephant. Okay? Something like that. So let's try it. Say the sound eh. Again, eh. All right. Your mouth is, more open compared to e. E, eh. Again, eh. Now say again the example word here, bed. One more time, bed. Again, bed. It's okay. All right. That's good. Make sure it is a short, clear sound, not a long E or a diphthong. Okay? How does that feel? Can you feel the slight difference in your tongue position from E? Let's try to say the first two sounds. E, E, e. All right. Next to that is the sound as in cut. Okay? Let me okay, that one. The that's a sound. All right? We encountered this one in our IPA practice drill, right? This is the sound you hear in words like man, hat, trap. So those words has this particular short vowel sound. Now, how to produce this a sound? Let's start with the mouth position. Our position for the mouth here, this is, an important one. Your mouth should be quite wide open, as you've noticed when I tried to pronounce this particular sound. Ah. Now, it is almost like you're about to yawn, okay? And the corners of your lips are pulled back. Ah. Again, ah. For the tongue position, your tongue is very low and flat in your mouth, specifically the front part. So, that's for the tongue position. It's low and flat. Okay. For the feel, of course, it's there that it should be short, but here it's a strong sound, but it's not that deep like in father. Okay? It's sometimes described as a cut sound or the beginning of apple. All right? Let's try it. Let's say the sound. Ah. Again. Ah. Now say the example word again. Cut. One more time. Cut. Again. Cut. All right. Really exaggerate the mouth shape to get that wide, low sound. Okay? Ah. Again. Ah. Okay. That's the third short vowel sound. So far, we've talked about three vowels in total. First is E, second is E, and lastly, A. Now, that's the third sound. Now, let's move on to this one. Okay. That is, an arrow pointing down, an arrowhead pointing down, or pointing up, or an upside down letter V. Okay. This is the sound. The sound of this one is it's more like uh again uh. How do I say this? But it's more like um of a UH, like that. How you pronounce UH? Okay, the UH word. So that's the sound it makes. So this is a very common and often tricky short vowel sound because you hear it in words like you hear it in words like cut, cut, run, love. So um it's tricky. Okay, that's what makes it tricky. Now, how to produce this sound? Your mouth position here. Um, your mouth is relatively relaxed and slightly open, similar to the sound. Okay, it is uh. That's the main difference with the previous one in cut, because here the is your mouth position is really, it's really quite wide, open, almost like you're about to yawn, as mentioned earlier. So it's here it's again uh all right. Your mouth is really relaxed. It's not totally widely open, it's just slightly open. Okay. Next is the tongue position, of course. Your tongue here is kind of relaxed and quite central in your mouth, neither very high nor very low. So it's not also it's not low, it's not low as well as it's not high. It's not high as well as it's not low, and it's not very far forward nor very far back. So it's just in between. It's in a neutral, relaxed position. Your tongue. uh, uh, uh. Now for the feel, it's of course it's given that it is short. It is, we can think of it like a muffled UH sound or a sound. Okay, think of the sound someone makes when they're thinking, like what was I saying? Something like that. Okay, it's often called the cup sound. So let's try it. Say the sound uh again. Uh. Now say the example word up again. Up one more time. Up. Make sure it is short and relaxed, not a deep ooh or ooh. Okay? All right. So far we've talked about four short vowels in total. Let's try to pronounce them. I, e, a, o. Okay. Next to that is this one. Now this is the o, o. This sound is an o sound. Let me try to give you let me try to make you hear how to pronounce it properly. This one. Oh. Okay. It is All right. Oh. So this sound is very characteristic of British English, or what we call as received pronunciation, or RP, which is often taught. You hear it in words like hot, dog, watch. Okay? Notice the spelling of the watch is letter A, right? But it's pronounced as watch. Okay? That is, again, the sound is One more time. So how to produce this sound? First is, of course, we try to look into its mouth position. Now here, your mouth should be quite open and your lips are slightly rounded, almost like you are starting to say oh, but more open. Okay? Instead of oh, which is we do not totally try to close our mouth. We just say it's almost like cut in half for O. It's just so we do not O, but only. We do not continue the O sound. Okay, it's like that. For the tongue position, the back of your tongue is slightly lowered. Again, oh. Although you try to really not look at the tongue position. You just try to feel it, because of course you cannot always look at your tongue and as well as mouth position. Every time you pronounce these sounds, you just have to feel it. Okay, I've gone it. Talking about feeling now, for the feel in this particular short vowel sound, of course I've mentioned it is short. It should be. Then it is an open O sound, like in box. So it's not as rounded or long as the O in go. Okay? Let's try it. Say the sound. O. O, like in hot. Again. O. Now say the example word. On. Again. On. One more time. On. Focus on that open, slightly rounded, short O sound. Okay? All right. Next to this is this one. All right. That is the oohs, not ooh, but ooh sound. That's too long. I've mentioned it too long. So this is how you try to pronounce it. Okay. That is ooh. Again, ooh. This is another subtle but important short vowel. You hear it in words like put, book, should. So it's oo sound. Okay? How to produce this oo sound. First, of course, we talked about the mouth position. Your lips here are slightly rounded, but not tightly so. It's just ooh. It's not ooh, but ooh. Okay? Ooh. It's just slightly rounded. For the tongue position, the back of your tongue is raised towards the roof of your mouth, but it is still quite relaxed. So, ooh, ooh. Okay. For the feel, it is a short, relaxed ooh sound, similar to the oo in foot or look. So it's shorter and less rounded than the oo in moon or shoot. Okay, let's try it. Say the sound. Ooh, like in good. Okay, say the example again. Good. One more time. Good. Make sure it's that relaxed, short ooh sound. Okay, that's again. Good. Again. Good. Next and the last short vowel sound is this one. Now, um, this is what we call a schwa sound. Okay? Again, this is a schwa sound, SCHWA, and it is its symbol is an upside down E. So this is a schwa sound, meaning here this is possibly the most common vowel sound in English. It's called the schwa sound, as I've mentioned, and it almost always appears in unstressed syllables. You hear it in words like teacher, again, again, lemon, men, about, okay? So it really, as you've noticed, only examples, it does not totally stick into one alphabet vowel one vowel letter. So it's the same. It's it typically is applied to any kind of vowel as long as it has the characteristic of a schwa sound. Okay? Now, what is its characteristic? It's very simple. Well, since I've mentioned already that it's a schwa, I mean, it's a short vowel sound. Now, a schwa sound is a vowel, any vowel of the five vowel letters, English alphabet letters. It's any vowel sound that's often described as lazy or neutral because it's produced with minimal effort and a relaxed mouth position. So it's the most common vowel sound in English because of that particular reason. Okay? Especially in unstressed, syllables, as I've mentioned earlier. That's why it is really common because as you've I don't know if you've noticed, but on our previous sessions, right? I've always included the IP transcriptions of words. I always do that. And if you have noticed, and if you're with me on our previous sessions, you will see that um the most common vowel sound that you will ever encounter in all of our sessions is the schwa sound, especially in the unstressed syllable. You always see it. That's why I always mention it every time, every single class that I did in our previous sessions. Okay, this is schwa sound. Let's try to say it together. Oh, it's it does not it's it's a bit shorter with the it's UH. You say it is a UH sound, but it's much shorter with what's the other one that I've mentioned earlier, like an that one. So it's also a UH sound, right? But this one is much shorter than that. Like the schwa sound is much shorter than the upside down V. Okay? So this is the sound. For the mouth position here, of course, we try to really we try to really understand how certain articulators is formed when we try to say this sound. For the mouth position, of course, it is completely relaxed. Your mouth is barely open here, almost like you're about to say nothing. For the tongue position, your tongue is completely relaxed and it is in the absolute central neutral position. It is not raised, it is lowered, it is front or back, and it is very relaxed. Okay? It's it's front or back. So the feel, of course, here when we try to say to think about that, it's a very weak, very short, and very relaxed sound. It's like the lightest possible you will ever hear. It never receives stress. That's why I mentioned that you typically found this particular short vowel sound in unstressed syllables in the word, in the word or phrases. Okay? All right. Now say the example. Let's try to say this together. Good. It's totally light. Light okay? Now say the example here. The word teacher. Er. Er. So focus on how light and then stress the final sound. That's where the schwa sound is. So say it a few times. Teacher. Again, teacher. All right. Okay. Fantastic work practicing those short vowels, everyone. You're doing great with identifying those quick, relaxed vowel sounds. Let's try to look at them again. Okay? There are 7 short vowel sounds in total. Let's start with this one. E, E, A, O, U, E. Okay? Let's try to hear let's try to hear some voice records from the internet. Let's start with this one. Okay. That's the first one. E, hit, pick, miss, tip. Next, that's the second one. Eh, let, neck, mess, wet. Third one. Okay. This is a sound. Sat, back, hat, and cup. Next to this is this one. Okay. This is a cat, caught, loud, fast, cup. Okay. Next to that is this one. This is how you say it. Okay. This is a hot, sock, boss, and top. Next to that is this one. Now for a moment. This is again. This is ooh, put, look, cook, good. And lastly, we have the schwa sound. This is how you say it. Okay. This is apart in pilot, lot, carrot, rot, minute, net. Okay? Those are our short vowel sounds. Let me check first if you hear the audio recordings clearly. Let me check for a moment. Okay. I checked it. I checked the video in my phone and you weren't able to really hear the audio recording. Sorry for that, but at least I've mentioned I also read I also pronounced the letters as well as the sample as well as examples, okay? All right. Let's try to not, you know, include the audio recordings starting for starting now because you cannot really hear it in your end. All right. We're already done with short vowels. Let's continue with, of course, its counterpart, which is the long vowels, or which are the long vowels. Okay. Okay. For a moment. For a moment. Okay. Let's continue with the long vowel sounds. Now, before we dig deeper into its, examples, we try to understand what long vowels is, of course. Long vowels are different from short vowels in a few key ways. For example, its duration. As their name suggests, you hold these sounds for a slightly longer period, so they are stretched out a bit more compared to short vowels. And second, so that's first, the duration is long. Second is the long vowels are typically more tense. Your mouth and tongue muscles might feel a bit more tense or precise when producing these sounds compared to the relaxed nature of short vowels. Okay? And of course, pure sounds when it comes to monophthongs, like the short vowels, these are pure monophthongs, meaning your tongue generally stays in one position, it doesn't glide, and the long refers to the duration of the glide. So both short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds are all are both monophthongs, okay? There's no diphthongs between the two because um it's just, when we try to pronounce the vowel sounds for the short vowel sounds as well as the long vowel sounds, your tongue is just in one position. It does not glide because these particular vowel sounds are referring to only one vowel sound. It's not a combination because diphthongs, which is opposite of monophthongs, there is a glide because it's a combination of two vowel sounds. That's why. So vowels and long vowels are both monophthongs. Okay. We're going to explore each of these long vowel sounds one by one and pay close attention to the IP symbol and example words and try to feel the difference in your mouth and the length of the sound compared to the short vowels we just practiced. So, what you need to know more on the English long vowels is that they have they have really this distinct characteristic when it comes to the symbol itself. The symbol has two dots, okay? It has two dots like this one for the first example. That one. There are two dots in there, right? It could be two dots or this one. Um this one. This one. That's still two dots but it looks like that, okay? It's this one is also totally acceptable. But we focus on this one on the chart. So there's two dots. As long as there's two dots beside it or after the vowel symbol. If it has two dots, or maybe we can say it as colon, after it, it's a long vowel. That's the defining feature. That's, a feature that you can easily spot on. So if you see two dots beside the vowel, then that's a long vowel sound. If you try to look at the IP chart, if you it's really easy to identify which one is short and long because you try to identify you just try to identify first the long vowel sound. This one, this one, those with two dots after it. And then the rest, of course, would be the short vowel sound already. Okay? That's how easy it is if you know the defining feature of such particular sound. Now, English long vowels are noticeably longer than short vowels, as I've mentioned earlier. Now, distinguishing between short and long vowels is very important in English because they mean different words, okay? Like, there's certain words that can be interchanged in its pronunciation, and of course those words totally mean different, okay? Like for example, ship and sheep, okay? Ship like cargo ship, and sheep like the animal, okay? There's also times that it may be really, how do you call it, it may can get you into trouble. Like for example, the words sheet, like sheet and shit, okay? You might, you might say shit instead of sheet, like the Excel sheet. So you might get in trouble if you do not pronounce them clearly, if you do not if you cannot differentiate how which is the time you say the short vowel sound of this particular letter or the long vowel sound of this particular letter. Okay, try to differentiate them. You try to really know how to integrate short vowel sound and long vowel sound in particular words. Okay? The key point here is that when you're looking at the vowels in the IPA to help you with your pronunciation, if you see the two dots, you need to check you're making a long vowel. Okay? Not a short vowel or a double vowel like a diphthong. All right. Let's start immediately with the first one. You've already see it in your screen. Now, for this one, this is the very long E sound. You hear it in words like um, tea, feet, key, machine. So that is a long E sound, or we say it as double E sound. Okay. How to produce this E sound? Of course, we start with its mouth position. Here, your lips are spread wide, almost like you are smiling. Okay. E, something like that. E. Now, its counterpart short vowel is just E. Again, E. But this is E. Again, E. For the tongue position, the front of your tongue is, very high and forward in your mouth, almost touching your upper teeth on the sides. Okay, that's the tongue position. It's high. It's high. E. It's high. It's forward in your mouth and almost touching your upper teeth. E. Okay. For the feeling, of course, since it's a long sound, long vowel sound, it's tense. It is a sustained E sound. And remember the two dots after the symbol? That's the IPA indicator for a long sound. Okay? Now let's try to say it together. Hold it out. The letter E. Okay? E. Again, E. Now say the example word here. Ship. One more time. Ship. Okay. Make sure that the vowel sound is long and clear with your mouth stretched in a smile. Okay? Try to feel the difference from the short E in the ship. So let's try to say that. Ship, sheep. Again, ship, sheep. All right. Second, let's move on to the next long vowel sound. Now this is what do you call that? For a moment. Okay. Mm, For a moment. Okay. Let's move on to the next vowel sound. For a moment, it's hanging. Okay, that's the second vowel sound. For the first vowel sound again, it's E. Again, E. Almost. Your mouth is smiling. For this one, this is pronounced as. For a moment, my screen is not really moving. Okay, good. This is the long oo sound. You hear it in words like blue, moon, fruit, soon. So there's oo sound in there. Okay? How to produce this oo sound? First is that your mouth position. Here, your lips are rounded, really rounded, and pushed forward. Ooh. It is almost like you're blowing a kiss or saying ooh sound. Okay? For the tongue position, the back of your tongue is very high in your mouth. So it is towards the soft palate. So it's ooh. Soft palate is the roof of our mouth. Okay? Ooh. Again, it is ooh. Now, for the feel, of course, it is still tense because it is a sustained ooh sound. Again, noticing the, how do you call that? The double dots after the vowel sound or after the letter. It is an indicator again for its length. Okay, for a moment. Okay, that's that. So again, that's how to produce how that's how you produce the oo sound. Your lips are really rounded. Ooh, okay? And of course, it's still tense. Let's try to say it together. Say the sound ooh. Again, ooh. Push those lips forward and hold it. Ooh. Now say the example word here. Shoot. Again, shoot. Again, shoot. One more time. Shoot. Okay. That's the ooh sound. All right. Now, make sure here that the vowel is long, of course, and rounded. Feel the lips pushing forward. Okay? All right. Next to this is this one. This one. Okay? This is a very common or ear sound, sometimes called the long schwa sound. Okay? You hear it in words like girl, work, journey. Okay? This is, how you pronounce it. It is a long schwa sound. So it's like okay? For schwa sound earlier in the short vowel sound, it's it's but here it's okay? It's All right. So that is So girl, work, journey. Okay? How to produce this particular sound, long vowel sound? For first, we will talk about its mouth position. Your mouth here is relatively neutral, not too open, not too closed, just in between. Okay, take note of that. And then the tongue position here, your tongue is in the middle of your mouth, and the sides of your tongue, take note, might lightly touch your upper teeth, like the upper back teeth. Okay? There's often a slight curling back of the tongue tip for the R quality, especially in American English, it's erotic, you know, which has a character which has a roticity, it's rotic characteristic. So for the feel, it's a sustained sound. So it's often described as a grunting sound or the sound you make when you're thinking. Maybe you do that, like okay. All right. So far, well, what do you call that? So far, we've covered these particular long vowel sounds. Okay. we have this one. Okay, we have this one. It is E as in sheep. Next, oo as in shoot. Next, this is our current, long vowel sound in discussion. This is Again, I know, not literally but yeah. Let me try to. Okay, it is Again, it could be or especially in American English. For the first sound like uh, it's usually in received pronunciation, or in British English, where its characteristic is typically non-rhotic, meaning that there are words, there meaning that usually the words um the words with the letter R in the spelling are not totally usually pronounced. Okay? That is Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one. Okay. All right. This one. This is how you say it. Okay. This is how you say it. Oh. Again. Oh. It's almost the same with ooh, but you notice the mouth. It's open. Okay? You hear it in words like far, walk, saw, thought. Okay? How to produce this particular sound? First is that your mouth position. Here, your lips are rounded, but usually not as tightly as for oo sound. Your jaw is fairly dropped. Okay? For the tongue position, the back of your tongue is lowered and slightly retracted. And then the feel, of course, it's sustained, it's open sound. You can think of sound when you make sound that you make when you say, oh no, something like that. A stretch the O out. Okay? All right. Okay, let's try it. Say the sound. Round your lips and drop your jaw slightly. Now say the example word, door. Again, door. A few times, door. One more time, door. So make sure that the vowel is long and has that open, rounded quality. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the last long vowel sound. This is um this is the counterpart of the first short vowel sound that we've talked about earlier. This is how you say it or pronounce it. Um this is the sound again. This is the very open long sound, often called the feather sound or the father sound. Again, one more time. Okay? All right. You will hear it in words like car, store, and father, of course. Now, how to produce this sound? Your mouth position, your mouth is very wide open, like you're at the dentist or saying so your lips are not rounded. For the tongue position, your tongue is very low and flat in your mouth, especially the back part. And of course, the feel, it's a very open, sustained sound. So think of the sound you make when you sigh, for example, like again, uh. Now say the example word here. It is far. Again, far. Make sure that the vowel is long and very open. And I think that's the last, yeah, that's the last long vowel sound. Let's try to look back for all 5 long vowel sounds, starting with this. This is E. E as in sheep. Ooh, shoot. I'm bird. D- um, door, and as in far. So, yeah, that's the last vowel sound that we are talking about. All right. To check if, for a moment, okay, that's the long vowel sound. So this is actually the last part of our session. But to recap what we've discussed so far, let's just try to say the different short vowels and long vowel sounds. Let's start with the short vowel. E, ship. E, bed. A, cut. Up. On. Good. E, teacher. For the long vowels, E, sheep. Shoot. Bird. Door. Far. That's the last long vowel sound. Now, to summarize everything, we will have some short examples here for a moment. Let me try to transfer it for you. Okay, let's try with this one. Wait for a few minutes. No, I'll try to paste it for a few seconds for a moment. For a moment. All right. Let's try. Let's immediately pronounce or read the words for each vowel sound, for both for short vowel sound and long vowel sound. Okay, let's start with letter A. I will read it short vowel and then long vowel alternatively. So yeah, interchangeably. I am gonna read the words. Let's start with this one. Cut, cake, mad, made, cup, cape, man. For a moment, I think the examples are okay. I have a better example for you for a moment. Let me just try to read it. Okay, for A, cat, short vowel sound, cut, but, man, set, bag, long vowel sound, father, cam, spa, car, ham. For E, let's have E. Let me delete that. For E sound, we have, what do you call that? I'm gonna try to paste it.
Okay, that one. All right. Okay, let's immediately continue. For short vowel sound, bed, red, pen, let, men. For long vowel, beat, seen, deep, seat, keep. Okay, next is this one, E and E for I. Bit, sit, pin, ship, slip, short E vowel sound. And then for the long vowel, seat, read, leap, feet, sheep. Next, O for short vowel, cut, lot, hop, top, mop. Long vowel, caught, talk, law, broad, thought. Next, this one, for short vowel, cup, sun, mud, cut, luck. Long vowel, calm, start, heart, barn, palm. Next, for oo sound, short vowel, foot, book, good, foot. Long vowel, food, moon, true, boot, spoon. And lastly, we have the schwa sound, a short and long vowel sound, sofa, ago, about. That's the short. Long vowel sound, bird, girl, learn, world, and turn, of course. All right. That's actually the end of our session for today. For today, we've talked about um, English vowels. We've covered short versus long vowels. And as you can see on our screen, tomorrow, our session for tomorrow, we're going to tap into monophthongs versus diphthongs. Okay? So that's actually the end of our session for today. Try to practice, if you have time, try to practice the different short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds. Say for example, search for examples for these particular short vowel sounds and long vowel sounds, and then practice them because consistent practice can really help you. Okay, that's that's the last part of our session. So I'm gonna end this one. Goodbye and have a great rest of the night ahead. Thank you.